Yes, Lisa, what's your question?
So my question kind of relates to Lawrence, I think, or what you just said. When you know that you're attached to a toxic or a trauma bond and you're away from it, it's so painful to be away, and you have that pull to go back.
Yeah.
And it's painful to be away, but it's also going to be worse to go back. So
Right.
which you do? You just stay away because you know it's very clear I'm in a trauma bond.
Yeah. So what's your question, hon?
So my question is, I guess my question is, I guess I don't know if that's the question.
Exactly. With cycle breakers, could you see the conundrum there? This is a classic part of trauma, Lisa, is that we don't even know what we're asking. And part of healing is really, it's not your fault. This is actually part of the work. It's, you're in a story and you don't, well, like, what's the outcome? You shared, which was beautiful. You shared that it's painful. It's an addiction. It's an identity.
Well, yeah, the abusive nature of the relationship.
Right. It's part of your identity.
It makes sense to go back to that.
Totally. So what's your question?
Told me was to go kill myself. My question is, what the heck is wrong with me that I would go back to that?
Did you? Okay. So
is that a question?
What's wrong with me that I would go back to that? I'm just going to get you to just kind of just sit and take a breath for a moment and listen to the context of the conversation that we were in all day today so far. Why did it make sense that you went back?
Oh, I wasn't recognized as a child, and I'm used to that. Pleasing,
Bingo.
fixing,
Bingo.
And being a good girl.
Right. So so there's nothing wrong with you. There's a child that hasn't been acknowledged and loved yet. So there's nothing wrong with you. So the real question is,
okay, what should the question be?
How do I, like, you know, when is it important enough for you to make this a priority to heal? Yeah. What outcome do you want to create for yourself in the next 3 to 6 months? See, this is the insidious nature of trauma, because people have all these questions that aren't actually really questions. They're just thoughts spinning around, and that's the result of the trauma. You're dissociated from yourself to really know what you want. You don't even know what you want. The truth is, you want freedom. You know, it's like, I was going to say addiction, but actually it's worse than an addiction. It's an identity. So how do you heal that is exactly what I'm saying, is through the work, is that you must take on a new identity if you want to heal this, because that old identity of pleaser fixer is going to keep you stuck in that bond, and you're not going to want to leave it. That's why many people don't. That's why people die at the hands of these trauma bonds. People kill themselves, people hurt each other, violence amongst relationships. This is what happened in my relationship. That's why I woke up. So the only question is, what's your wake-up call? A physical diagnosis or an illness to do the work? Is it a life-threatening injury? Like, most people wait for a wake-up call to happen, and I don't want that to happen to you. So that's why there's going to be an invitation for people to actually do the work and to commit to being a cycle breaker. It's a great breakthrough.